What's up, peeps? Julian Williams here at the distance. Video for you guys this evening. This one will be a prediction for the upcoming bout between Diego Chavez and Keith Thurman. Bout takes place tomorrow night on Showtime for the WBA Interim Welterweight Championship. Puts together the interim champion Diego Chavez versus the challenger Keith one-time Thurman. So overall, this fight to me is very interesting because you have two fighters have decent knockout ratios within their record among their opponents. And of course, you have two fighters that come forward. So first with Keith Thurman, one of his phrases he said that I've heard quite a few times, I have a O and I'm not afraid to let it go. And that's kind of that throwback attitude, if you ask me. Keith Thurman overall, fun fighter to watch. He comes in with the intention of knocking his opponent out. And he goes for the knockout. He lets his hands go. However, he does have a few fundamental flaws that can be exposed with the correct opponent. On the other hand, you have Diego Chavez, another fighter who comes in and he goes for the knockout as well. And he does whatever he needs to do to get the knockout. So with this fight, when I really think about this fight, on paper, it can be a toss-up. And watching other videos and reading other comments, there are people that say, okay, Diego Chavez is a bum. He's not that good. He only fights bums. Or you hear about Keith Thurman on the other hand. Keith Thurman has only been fighting bums. The right person will expose him. He needs to be exposed. He's a hype job. And things of that nature. As boxing fans, we know that any opponent can expose another opponent. However, when it comes to exposure, it's only a matter of time until whether or not you realize if it's exposure or not. Because the boxer is entitled to have a bad night. So, anyway, getting into this fight, I hope you're enjoying the fight that's on the screen. Joe Walcott versus Joe Louis, one of my all-time favorites that I share with you guys today. So, getting into the fight first for Diego Chavez. Diego Chavez is a fighter who he comes in, he's a very offensively based fighter. He fights well off his jab. He has a good counter left hook. And he will go to the body with his power shots. In this fight with Keith Thurman, I think he has to keep his punches tight. He has to occasionally go to Keith Thurman's body. And also, one thing I would not do against Keith Thurman is I wouldn't lunge down for that right-hand body shot that he likes to throw. Primarily, Diego Chavez, he has a good shell. He has a good shell. What I could say about Chavez is he has a very tight left hook. He has a nice jab. He's always standing in front of his opponent. He always has that lead foot right inside so that he's able to land his right hand or counter even easier with the left hook where he gets leverage off of that lead foot, which I think is intelligent. Keith Thurman, as we all know, has a tendency to drop his hands when he's stepping back, which is gonna leave the chin exposed. So that just gives Diego Chavez time to get the flash knockdown, possibly, if his chin is exposed, if his chin is up in the air. Because say, for example, Thurman might have a flurry. and then he may come in. I mean, and he might turn around, walk out. He might step out with his hands down, which just opens either a left hook or a straight right hand. One of the two. But he has to continue to, he has to land on Thurman. And I would go to his body very early in this fight. I would go to the body, which will take away a lot of his energy throughout the later rounds. And the perfect shot is that left hook to the liver. Left hook to the liver, I believe he throws it well. He has to get that shot in quite a few times early in the fight. He can't let Thurman go in and set the pace, but just going in and just throwing and him just shelling up. He has to go in, he has to take initiative. He has to stand in front of him, and he has to jab, counter, and go to the body. If he goes to the body, I believe that Thurman will be an open target later on in the fight. He'll be a target because, for example, some of these fundamental flaws that Thurman has are going to be evident later in the fight. What does it do? It leads to more openings. So I think that should be the game plan for Diego Chavez. I think he needs to exert more of going to the body early in the fight. Let the hands drop. That leads to openings up top. On the other hand, for Keith Thurman, I think it will be important for Keith Thurman to go in and break the shell. He has to break Chavez's guard in this fight. Of course, the only way to break the guard of a fighter is volume punching. A lot of times, volume punching, eventually that guard will come down later on. What I would do if I was Keith Thurman, he'll bounce around quite quickly on his feet. I think he needs to set up these combinations. Of course, you set up the combinations through movement. So I think all he has to do really is just move, bounce around his feet, start off with the jab and just throw combinations. Continuously throw towards the shell. Eventually that guard comes down. And he has to just remain active, keep busy, let his hands go. Also look for I would look for if we both were on the inside, if I was Keith Thurman and Chavez is standing close to me, what I would actually look for is left hook to the body, left hook up top. Similar to how Mike Tyson used to throw it. Left to the body, left up top. Because, then you're going to the body, they're coming down to the body to defend themselves, then you're hitting them up, up top again. That's kind of a bifecta, not necessarily a trifecta, bifecta. But I would just continuously just throw at them, volume punching, lots of movement. I would utilize a lot of movement and volume punching because Chavez doesn't really throw unless he's set. So he has to get Chavez to continue to move in order to pretty much take advantage and just win on activity. And I think that's pretty much the key for Keith Thurman in this fight, activity. So going into this fight, who do I think is going to win? To be honest with you, I believe that the winner of this fight and the winner of Solo Carras-Berto, I believe that the winner of these two fights will face each other next. I think that's pretty much what's setting up, either that or Marcos Maidana. So who do I think is going to win this fight? I'm going to go with the favorite. I'm going to go with Keith one-time Thurman. I think he's going to win basically on sheer activity. I also believe that Chavez may have a few opportunities in the fight, to give Thurman some problems, especially on the quick left hook counter. However, a couple problems that both of them have is they both do wind up on their shots. Keith will throw his left hook a little bit wide, and Chavez will throw his right hand a bit wide. So either way, this fight. I mean, I was looking at the face off and everything at the weigh-in. The face off was quite intense. So overall, I believe Keith Thurman will win this one on a unanimous decision. Like I said, based on just sheer activity and just letting his hands go. So anyway, peeps, let me know what you think. That was Distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.